Hours later at 3:20 this morning, a 95-year-old man with comorbidities compounded by the virus also passed away. He was admitted to GMH on August 29th. These latest two incidents mark the island's 22nd and 23rd COVID-related deaths. Meanwhile, between Wednesday and Thursday, there have been 105 more positive cases out of a total of 918 samples ran on both days. This brings Guam's current COVID case count to 1,863 island residents who have been infected with coronavirus. Well, the Joint Information Center is providing information about a significant coronavirus cluster that was identified at a construction worker barrack, or as described in Public Health's Situation Report, congregate living shelter. On the link this morning, Public Health's COVID-19 containment lead, Chima Ambakwim, said once the agency was informed about the first positive case, contact tracers began their investigation. KUAM News has learned up to 70 workers may have tested positive.
What I can tell you is that the positive individuals are properly isolated, the contacts are quarantined, and the mitigation plan has worked, and we're sure we've stopped infection in that place. And the good thing is a cluster, so it's easy for us, we identified the cluster, we're able to shut it down, and then did the testing, the turnaround time was okay, and I think right now that is taken care of.
And just today, JIC confirmed an additional COVID cases were identified among employees of two other local construction companies. As a result of COVID cases related to the construction industry, Public Health issued a directive suspending all construction projects at the close of business today. Now, you may recall that during week 1 of the lockdown, the governor ordered local construction to cease, but by week 2 of the lockdown, she eased up and allowed the construction industry to proceed. Public Health is now conducting a review of all operational plans and conducting site visits of these construction worker barracks to ensure protocol is being followed. In other news tonight, the Guam Memorial Hospital ends another week nearly full to capacity, and 6 months into the pandemic, the skilled nursing unit in Barragata Heights remains empty.
It's not because
13 RNs are out because of the COVID,
but rather
we're focused on the acutely and critically ill individuals that come into the ER. They continue to come in.
Even despite backup from a medical team from the Department of Defense, combat medics from the Guam National Guard, and more than 12 nurses dispatched from the Guam Department of Education, GMH is so overloaded with direly sick patients, and not just those infected with COVID either, that it can't open the skilled nursing unit in Barragata Heights. That was a plan since March to take in COVID patients.
And so, we're focusing our resources in that area. In the emergency room, we still have people holding and waiting to get into an inpatient bed. So that's where our energies have been, and our attention of the resources, because we really have really sick people coming in.
Right.
Every day we're doing, we're intubating patients. Every day we have a cold blue incident in the hospital.
Right.
So these are really, really sick individuals that are coming in.
The COVID census at GMH on Friday was 50 positive patients. 12 were receiving ICU level of care, and 11 of them are on ventilators. Posadas acknowledges they are trying to keep up.
And our plan, long-term plan, is to get a company, from off island to bring us an infusion of critical care nurses. So we're in discussion with that company, and we're hoping to come to some kind of a final agreement.
Posadas adds discussions are also underway to extend the deployments of the off-island DOD medical team.
Another 2 or 3 weeks. Since they've gotten already kind of acclimated, they're doing very well according to the physicians, the COVID physicians. They're acclimating very well. They're very receptive to how we do things in this facility. And so, they're doing good. And maybe what we need to do is, rather than have a new group come in and do all that orientation and training, we keep what we've got and just extend them.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matinani.
Speaking of public health, that agency is gearing up for the eventual reopening of the economy by boosting capacity for contact tracing. In a wide-ranging oversight hearing on Thursday, senators on the Health Committee got an update on tracing during the current surge in positive cases. Administrator of the Bureau of Communicable Disease Control, Annette Uggan, says that they've added more personnel from within her agency.
Right now, this is helping us to
to catch up on that backlog, where we've decreased from being 3 to 4 days behind to at least 2 to 3 days now. And so the staff continue to work on that to do the catch up for that big surge that, no one could have anticipated that large number that we had last month.
Their goal is to get back to the CDC standard of responding within 24 hours. UGAN adds that for any future surge, they're training employees from other GovGuam agencies to conduct their own tracing in coordination with public health.
The expansion has gone beyond our department, and so with this continued effort, the capacity will be there, and that the support is there, so that it's not just internal to public health, but we have our other sister agencies also being trained up, having a designated 2 to 3 teams, like GPA and Port Authority of Guam. They took that initiative and they helped us in the contact tracing. So that expansion is continuing.
The Health Committee also held a confirmation hearing for Acting Public Health Director Art San Agustin, himself a longtime employee of the agency. Well, Guam Postmaster General Tammy Shonin, in other news, responded to the criticism surrounding the long lines at Guam's various post offices. Our Peter Santos has this next report.
Our volumes in the month of August were, like you said earlier, 40% over last August's volumes. And I ran the numbers for September, and we're looking at nearly double already just for the month of September.
It's not just your online orders. COVID-19 safety protocols are also playing a part in long lines.
We must comply with the social distancing, and it's been a struggle. I've had employees go out and ask customers to please social distance. It's been very congested. We've had to ask them to wait outside. I've asked the government and GPD to get involved and help us to maintain the social distancing here, because we want to keep our employees safe. We want to keep our customers safe.
In order to meet the increased demand, job opportunities are just around the corner, according to Postmaster Shonin.
We anticipate a big hire coming. You're going to see our banners go up soon. It's available at USPS.com under careers. And while you're there, you can do other stuff online at USPS.com. You can prepare your packages, you can pay your box rent, you can order supplies, you can order stamps.
Right.
And, to do that would really help us to take the customers out of the line and allow us to help more customers with the package distribution.
For those brave enough to take a trip to the post office, Postmaster Shonin has a few things for you to keep in mind.
Please bring your chairs, bring an umbrella, because if you have to wait outside, there's really not much we can do with the social distancing, but we really do need to separate and make sure that we're not spreading this illness more throughout our community. And please, when you come in line, come alone. Don't bring all your family and your children and your, everybody. So, one person in line per hash mark is what we ask. That way we can keep the congestion in our facilities down.
For the full interview, visit our YouTube page at KUAM News. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
Thanks so much for that report, Pete. In other news, the fiscal year 2021 budget bill has been vetoed by the governor, and she is calling the legislature into special session on Monday morning to debate a substitute measure that she will be submitting. In her veto message, the governor wrote that she rejected the bill because, quote, "I believe we can do better and we should try again." Leon Guerrero's alternative measure would increase revenues by some $7 million, which was the difference between AdLoop's projection and the legislature's Office of Finance and Budget's projection. She said it would restore operational shortfalls for critical agencies like Public Health, the Department of Corrections, the Department of Revenue and Taxation, and the Department of Administration. Senators need 10 votes to override. The veto budget bill was passed by a vote of 13-2. Primetime will continue right after this, so please stay with us.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
When I need to pay my Docomo Pacific bills or manage my account, all I do is visit mydocomopacific.com. It's easy to set up. I just visit the website and click on the link to set up my account. I filled out the registration page starting with my account number. I received a text message with a temporary username and password. After making initial changes on my security settings, I'm in! Now I can make payments or manage my Docomo Pacific account without needing to leave home. With Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Gila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the island. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
Social distancing may be the new norm, but connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
With Grand Marnier, you'll dare to put a twist on the traditional. That will lead you to somewhere unexpected. Somewhere you can create something better than good. Here, you'll create something grand. Grand Marnier, a visionary blend of fine cognac and bitter orange liqueur. Live grand.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. And from business, Japan Airlines has announced it will extend its suspension of flights to Guam till the end of October. The carrier is citing the continued impact of the COVID-19 spread on the travel industry. It also noted that October 1st will mark the 50th anniversary of the Tokyo to Guam route. But because of the pandemic, JAL still does not plan to resume service just yet. Well, the governor made a plea for more immediate federal financial assistance during a virtual hearing before the House Financial Services Committee. She did testify on the drastic impact of the pandemic on Guam's economy and that nearly half of private sector staffers are on some sort of federal unemployment assistance. To underscore the island's plight, Vice Chair of the committee, Guam Delegate Michael Sinicolas, asked about the impact on the all-important topic of Guam's bond obligations.
Providing revenues to our states and territories would be critical in order for us to make sure that their financial circumstances don't deteriorate and as such deteriorate their capacity for debt service and deteriorate their capacity to maintain their bond ratings. And so I wanted to open real quick with a question to all of our governors, to begin with my governor, Lulian Guerrero. If we don't provide additional funding for the states and territories, is there a risk that our bond ratings within our states and territories could deteriorate?
Absolutely, there is that risk because we have to have the revenues to provide for the debt service. And so if we can get those assistants to sort of also reach us so that we can bring back our tourism, or even I think we should have some economic diversity, and we have to adapt and we have to innovate in terms of what economies can we use and how can we make sure that we are innovative enough to look at the resources that we can use. So it would definitely impact our credit rating because, of course, what is our capacity and ability to pay those debt service down?
The House Financial Services Committee hearing was held to gather testimony from state and territorial governors on financial aid, supporting first responders, more schools, and prevent massive layoffs. Well, we've got an update now on tax refund as Reventax and DOA will mail out over 1,500 such checks this week. They total a little over $4.2 million used with funds including refunds that are garnished to repay GovGuam debts. They're for error-free returns filed on or before February the 11th. Well, today, of course, marked the 19th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Various groups commemorated the event, including the Rotary Club of Northern Guam, which usually honors the occasion each year with a wreath-laying ceremony. This year, it held a virtual event streamed live on The Link. Rotarian Joe Rios was the coordinator.
Traditionally, every year, we host our wreath-laying ceremony at our Peace Memorial at Two Lovers Point. Today, the coronavirus pandemic changed that tradition. We hope this virtual ceremony will inspire peace and honor the promise to never forget. Thank you. In keeping with tradition, Isel Paulino will now sing the national anthem and Guam hymn.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
To Island sports news now. In the fight game for almost 2 full decades, Rocky Martinez, the champ, is going to make his UFC debut this weekend. Here's more as he spoke with The Link this morning.
He has grown as a fighter.
Within a week of signing with Iridium Sports Agency, Guam heavy hitter Rocky Martinez got the call Wednesday.
My new management team was like, hey man, how soon can you get on a plane, pack your bags and let's go, you know? And I was like, oh, moly.
Martinez put a load in the laundry and was off to Las Vegas.
So I found out I'm fighting in the UFC at like roughly around 7 a.m. and hopped on the plane by 10.
As soon as he landed, Martinez had to undergo medical screenings to make sure he's straight. And with the fight less than 2 days away, it's all about strategy.
It looked like he was actually a national wrestler on the national wrestling team for Moldova. He's competed internationally for wrestling. Right. But I watch his videos and he has decent strikes as well. So, you know, he's a big, strong guy. And, yeah, I mean.
His opponent is 11-0, 6'2" Alexander Romanov of Romania.
He's tough. He's good. I know he's undefeated. I believe he's finished all of his fights, his opponents. Definitely a big challenge for me, but I love it, man. I like these things. The bigger the challenge, though, I feel like the more I rise.
Rocky, a rising heavyweight champ, has been preparing for this shot in the UFC for 15 years.
You know, like, in a way, it's like I've seen it coming for for a while, and it's almost like I was somewhat prepared for it, you know, so. But of course, when it actually happened, you know, it was a little bit more exciting than I expected, but man, I've been ready for it.
Rocky steps into the cage Sunday, Guam time, and as always, he'll be repping 671.
You see it on my post, like, oh, he's carrying the flag, you know.
Mm-hmm. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matanani.
And of course, there's more than 160,000 people on this island, 30 miles long by 7 miles wide, cheering for Rocky. Good luck in the UFC this weekend, Rocky. All right, coming up, we're going to launch a new segment recognizing teachers who have had to adjust during this pandemic. It's our Touch of Class Virtual Learning Edition. That's next.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Small businesses are an important foundation in our island's growing economy. They provide essential goods and services to our community while preserving local traditions and creating new job opportunities. Your responses to the 2020 Census of Guam will help small businesses receive the information they need to thrive for years to come. Respond today. Together, we can make a difference.
Our island is a gift that we have shared with the world. But in the stillness of today, our island is asking everyone to give us a moment. To be with our family, Ifamagonte, our children, our grandchildren, Itanota, our land, our thoughts, to be creative. Fanhongi, to have faith. To be with the things we know and the things you've come to love. Give us a moment, and we will share one together soon.
Well, tonight, as promised, we're launching a brand new segment, KUAM's Touch of Class Virtual Learning Edition. And tonight, our Andy Wheeler introduces you to Arlene Managero.
All right, Hafaday, and welcome to what is going to be a regular segment here on the show where we're going to be featuring teachers and how they've adapted during this pandemic with the online learning. And so our first guest, we have Mrs. Manahero, who teaches the 4th grade up at Ubi Elementary. Mrs. Manahero, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So this is a school year like any other, or unlike any other, and you as teachers, you've always done a lot of work to make sure that the students stay engaged and, obviously learn. So now that you're doing that with the online classes, how have you had to change your lesson plan to adapt to this situation?
Well, there's major changes, and because I'm normally in the classroom, or normally I love to have my kids work in a group setting. So they normally work in different groups and very hands-on. And then when we had to switch to virtual learning, I had to adjust by engaging the students interactively. So,
because you like normally being in the classroom, I'm assuming, with all of these kids, so you can go around, maybe one student is having a problem with this, yeah. You give them their attention. How have you had to change that and work better with the students individually in this online setting?
Well, for individually, let's say we meet for an hour in the Google Meet, and after I would give them, they would be online with me, either texting me or emailing me if they have a question. So if they need me to get online again and kind of show them how to work their assignments, then we go online again. And so that's pretty much the one-on-one instructions with them, or by phone call. And my parents have been very, very helpful. And I feel like we're all learning how to use the computer, which was really exciting too, even though in the beginning we're all like lost, right? So, but now they pretty much getting the hang of virtually learning.
And I think that's key, is because this is the first for almost all the teachers on Guam and the students, this virtual learning. So we are kind of learning as we go, and you, the teacher, as well as the students, are learning this. So you've already probably made some changes to the curriculum or the lesson plan, how things are going about. But I'm assuming that there's a little bit more homework involved now.
Yes. Well, in the first 2 weeks, it's more like introduction. So they had to kind of learn the usage of how to use the computer, how to do their assignments. But now they feel like, man, how come seems like there's more work now and our mom and dad is watching in the background. But pretty much the assignments is very different, but they still learn the reading, the math a little bit differently, but I think now they're liking it more, because now they can just kind of work their assignments at different times. But I'm trying to get them in a schedule still, so that they don't they're not online the whole day.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure you've run into some concerns that parents have had. So is there anything you'd like the parents and students of Guam to know about this school year and the virtual learning?
I think this year everyone is just really trying to do their best, and I think the parents also they're also doing their best, because everyone is just learning. And I think it's just for us, I just tell my kids, it's just one day at a time, and we'll learn what we can learn for today, and if we don't know something, there's always tomorrow, and we'll research it and try to learn it together.
Well, that's great. I think as long as the kids are learning, we're in good hands, and because we have amazing teachers like you that are helping these kids and getting us through this unprecedented school year. So, Mrs. Monajero, thank you so much for your time, and keep on doing your best work.
Thank you.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And now here's your birthday shoutouts. The end of the work week means the party is just getting started for tonight's birthday baby. So here we go, everybody. Happy birthday on this Friday, September 11th to Tracy St. Augustine. Have a great day, Tracy. Love your family and the 7 dwarfs. Nice. Navia J. Shimizu, happy birthday number 1 to our 9/11 baby girl. You continue to grow into a smart little girl. We love you unconditionally. Yeah, that's the best. Love always, your family. Glenn Borja celebrates a birthday today, and his friends, and the ones that are close to him, commonly know Glenn as Pete. Enjoy another 9/11, Pete. Stay safe and healthy. We love you, says your Borja family. It is also a happy birthday for Denisha Santos, whose friends and family, which includes us here at KUAM, are wishing you the very best. Hope you had a great day. Travis Story has a birthday today, and happy birthday, Travis, from Mom, Uli, and Charity. Be safe and surfs up. All right, good one. Happy blessed birthday number 5 to Jace Castro, coming from your family. Jace, big B-Day on Big 5. Christian Sanchez has a birthday today, and happy birthday, Christian. We all love you so much, coming from your fiance, Nate, and the whole family. And a happy birthday to one of our family members here at KUAM, our very own Mikhail Temerowski, the man up front. Mikhail, keep your hair solid, man. Happy birthday. And happy belated birthday wishes going out to Julieta Kineni, born on the 10th. Happy birthday from your husband, Tony, sons DeMarco, Tony Ryan, and Kite. And happy birthday to Jordan Reese Duckowitz, born on the 10th. Happy birthday, Princess. We love you forever. Say mommy and daddy. That is a full roster of birthday celebrants, and we wish you all the very best. Well, membership in the club is 100% free. All you have to do is click on birthdays at the top of our website, because you could possibly win a Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake. Let's meet this week's winner. This week's birthday winner is Elijah J. Santos, who was born on September the 9th. Elijah J., we wish you a happy extended birthday, and when it's safe to do so, we'll be in contact with you and your family to let you guys know how you can get your ice cream cake from Cold Stone Creamery. Until then, happy birthday once again, and please stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us here on Primetime. Thanks so much for watching, but please, the fight continues. Get your gloves, get your mask, stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands constantly, and be good to each other. Good night.
Howdy, guys, and welcome to another episode of the One Micronesia podcast. And this next series of podcasts is all going to be under one message, and the message is unity. And the next couple of episodes, we're going to get to sit down with individuals, groups, organizations out there who have really stepped up and helped out with the FAS community here on Guam, and to pretty much promote the message, which is unity. So one of those big organizations is a GPD, and one of those people who are always at the front line heading things were, of course, my man, my brother, Paul Tapao. Paul, thank you so much and welcome to the show.
Hey, half a day, Mogathin, Raranim, and half a day to everybody. Thanks again, Vic, for having me. This is special. This is beautiful, and hope everybody's staying safe out there.
For reals. Okay. So Paul, we're going to go ahead and start. The first question is, and people who don't know, the police department, let's take it back. Let's give them a little history of how it all started, and what role did the police department play in this whole endeavor?
Okay. So, that's a beautiful question, just having this nostalgic moment, talking about where we were and where we are now. I believe it was in 2017, I believe, when we first reached out to, back then it was Big Brothers Big Sisters, and it was under the guidance of Victor Camacho. And it was just weird because I met Vic at a supermarket, and we were just talking at the meat counter, and we're like, hey, I heard you're doing great things with Biggs, you're reaching out to the community. I heard an interview that you did with one of the media outlets, and this is where we wanted to go with the Guam Police Department. So we were still in our infancy stage with our initiatives and our directive. And, he connected me to his, he goes, hey, you got time, come down. We're doing, I think it was the first ever Micronesian Resource Center fun run, 5K that they were doing. So I got an opportunity to meet Vic personally, and just to see the operation. So in line with that first initial meeting, I reached out to him a second time, and I asked for a sit down, and and just to brief me as to the organization of, especially working with a government agency and reaching out to a nonprofit organization or an NGO. And I thought this was, I was pretty much mapping out how we can reach the greater community. And this was particularly the Micronesian community. So Vic had introduced me to Ed and Action at the time under MRC, which was the Big Brothers and Big Sisters was the umbrella for their organization. So after a few meetings, we came up with the concept of where we wanted to go with the Guam Police Department, and of course that's really establishing our efforts with community-oriented policing within the community. And one of the things in which we wanted to work with was the population of our Micronesian brothers and sisters, because as a police officer for the last 20-some years, you tend to see the disconnect between the community and of course the police. So working back into the community was really the work that we wanted to instill. So they assisted us with our first ever, one of our events was dubbed Fade Away from Violence. And this was really the brainchild from our Women's Advisory Network. And it really was a great concept that they did up at the Santa Ana subdivision in Dedido. And it was really just getting the community out, cleaning up something in which everybody can gather, which was the basketball court. And, it was a great marry because, you had Action, you had Ed, and of course, one of the more popular sports within the Micronesian community is basketball. So, when we put the stuff together, when we put the concept together, and of course, the initiative, it was the concept was taken from our Women's Advisory Network, and it was the Fade Away from Violence, Choose to be Drug and Alcohol Free. And we focused solely on the community. So we picked a community, an area in which we can really hit the population. And, with the grace of the mayor at that time, he allowed us to come into, and of course, GURA played a significant role in this. We went down, we did the assessment, and, the connection there that binded us with the residents of the GURA housing in Zonia was MRC. They came out and they supported us, and they've assisted us, and we held that 3v3 basketball tournament, which I want to share was we had over 150 participants that day, and it was predominantly the Micronesian community members that were there. We had some local Chamorros that were there, and they were playing with the kids, and it was put together by MRC. They assisted us in putting the brackets together. They assisted us with the logistics because she had Action on one side, who's a superstar in basketball, and he's well known within the Micronesian community. And he put together the format of the 3v3 concept, and it just, from there, there was that great marry. And since then, we've partnered up with a lot of the initiatives that the Guam Police Department did, and of course the initiatives that came out from the Micronesian Resource Center. So we've done a slew of events that dealt with issues within the community. What we reached out to we have our partnership with the Department of Education. We did our first Fade Away from Violence with the schools, and MRC and Minyelo, which transitioned from Big Brothers Big Sisters, that transitioned to Minyelo. The executive director, Ms. Samantha Taitano, was continued that partnership, and was really that right seat, left seat. When Vic Camacho left, he brought Sam in and he sat us down and he goes, "Look, Sam is taking over as the executive director. She's great. She's innovative. She's passionate about her job." And it was just, the transition was really fluid, and it streamlined everything in what we were doing with the Guam Police Department, and it connected well with what was happening with Minyelo and MRC. And some of
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment.
And some of the events that we did was our Fade Away from Violence with the schools. We linked up with them, and we were able to get, I believe it was some of the national team members from Chuuk, and we had our Guam's men's national team partnering up and teaching, I think 150 some kids from 6 middle schools for a 2-day event. MRC reached out to one of their partners with Opaque, and we did graffitiing and lifestyle changes, and we showed them the urban art. So, these are some of the, these are the things in which we've actually partnered up with. And one of the things that I want to stress was it really bounded, the relationship that, we've had now for the past 3 years with the partnership with MRC, with the community, because we assist them with their community services that they provide to the greater population, the greater Micronesian population. We go down and we do law talk with the residents. So we give them an insight about laws and how things apply and what you can and can't do and what's applicable by laws and Western standards. So, and there's an understanding because, we have questions that families were either hesitant or they just didn't know the information, and we were giving them that information that, kept them in understanding that these are things in which needed to be done. But, nonetheless, they've assisted us with COVID-19. On the onset of COVID-19, Manielo and Micronesian Resource Center, they drafted the language for the curfew with the Guam Police Department. And it was done in, I believe, in Yapes, in Chuquis, in Panban, Kashrai, and Marshallese, I think. And it was disseminated throughout social media, and we used that as a platform in which we were able to reach out to the greater community about the importance of curfew and, of course, COVID-19. But, again, 3 years ago, that's when we started, and that's when we forged a partnership with Manielo and Micronesian Resource Center, and it was great. And I want to bring one event to light, and you see the shirts, the One Micronesia or the Micro One. It was created by them, and understanding that unity aspect, and it was they took the ONE out of Micronesia, and it was beautiful. It was something special because they had the first ever youth summit, a Micronesian youth summit. And if you were a part of that, sitting there throughout the summit was really instilling about cultural pride of who you are and identity. And being a part of that as a facilitator and as a guest speaker, we had kids that came in from different high schools, right? And this is the population. This was the first summit, mind you. It was up at the University of Guam. And it was a slew of kids from different schools who they probably knew each other through social media, but they probably never met anybody. And from day one, from the first initial onset, when we started everything off, they had that sort of like barriers that they had. It was really like, you're from JFK, you're from GW, you're from Southern High and everything. But as we ended the summit and everything, you saw a sense of unity there, and you saw a sense of understanding and openness. And we had power speakers from within the population. We had students standing up and saying, I grew up as a Chuquis, but I was ashamed to wear my muumuu. But after this summit, I understood the significance of who I am, my culture, my existence, and who I want to be and who I can become. And I couldn't have done this without me understanding who I am as a Micronesian. And we saw that effect, and it resonated throughout the whole student population that attended that summit. And I was, from the outside looking in, right, just observing to see how the dynamics of what the summit brought forth. This was something special because the sense of unity and the sense of identity was instilled in the students, and there was an understanding that, hey, be proud of who you are. Be proud that we have heritage. Be proud that we have culture. Be proud that we wear muumuu dresses, and you should not be ashamed of that because this is the culture. And I was in tears. I was like, wow, my mom wears muumuu and she loves it. She's like, and I was taken back by that because now when we said goodbye to the kids, it would, Ed, Sam, and Action, I want to say they were like pretty much the pillars of Manielo and Micronesian Resource Center. We were standing there waving at the kids goodbye, and I looked at them and I said, guys, we can't stop. We cannot stop with this summit. And unfortunately, COVID happened. This year's summit was supposed to be bigger than last year's. We were anticipating a bigger turnout. We're anticipating bigger events. It's a setback, but again, this is something in which we can learn and build from, and better than the next opportunity. And we took that one Micronesian concept, that Micro One concept, and We know what happened. Everybody knows what happened. It was public about the machete attack in Manila. And there was this great, community bashing on the Micronesian community. And we were tracking it, and, we were like, okay, we need to do something. We need to do something because they were having town hall meetings about what's happening, and it was only focusing on the issues that the Micronesian communities, the crimes that were being committed by the Micronesian community. So we sat down and we worked. I sat with Ed, I sat with Sam, we sat with some of the other Micronesian community members that we met throughout some of the town hall meetings. And it was really ironic because inside one of the meetings, you had the population of those who attended were very critical about some of the majority of the crimes that were being committed by our Micronesian brothers and sisters. Outside of that meeting, you had myself, you had Action, Ed, Cliff, he's from the 4-H group, and I think we had 2 other Pohnpeians and 1 Marshallese that was from the University of Guam. And we were sitting there, and you can hear the volume, you can hear the anger inside there, but outside of here, it was special because we made a circle and Cliff was passing his bull around and everything. And, my freaking travels to Micronesia, this is it right here. This is where your hierarchy, this is where decisions are going to be made. And as I was making my bull and I was listening to them speak, everybody had a turn making bull, and, I was chewing my bull. And, I remember a wise Yapese man once said, he goes, decisions are made over a bitternut, over a bull. It's not something that we're going to rush into. We need to take time as we think and ponder what's happening. The same thing in what we're doing and making our bull or bitternut. We're fixing our everything, and that's when we're thinking and contemplating what's the next move, what's the next step, what's the better approach. And as I put that bitternut in my mouth and I was listening to them, I said, okay, guys, what are we going to do from here? And this is where we had that unity wave. It was developed from that. I don't know if you remember.
We give most of our waking hours to preserve yours. When we're in it, nothing exists but you and the person that needs your help. It can be difficult at times. You can't help but take the weight of what you've seen home with you. There are days or nights that I need to leave it all behind, to let it go in the wind. But I'll always come back. I am a first responder, and I have given my life to this.
I don't know if you remember that. It was weird. It was, I guess the irony to that was we did the Unity Wave in July 3rd. The next day was 4th of July. We were celebrating the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Guam. But the day of the Unity Wave, we had over 600 participants coming out. This was really something special because we had uniformed officers within the Guam Police Department. We had various community members throughout the island, and we had student organizations from the University of Guam, some student organizations from the respective schools that weren't Micronesians, that didn't, that had no understanding of, Chuk, Yap, the culture and everything. They came because they saw a purpose.
And I think the next question here is talking about diversity. Why do you think diversity is important?
And I think culture and diversity go hand in hand. And understanding that, again, it's not division to diversity, it's unity to universal diversity. It really makes us understand who we are. And the difference in culture is the similarities in customs and beliefs. Every culture has their belief that's similar to every part of the Micronesian region. The adjunct saying is, although we're separated, by land, we're still touched by the seas and the waters. And, if you really look back at it, it's really, we are connected to the water. We are connected to everything that we've done, everything that has come forward. But, diversity in itself, it's really, the differences that we have, it's really more of individuality and the uniqueness of that culture, the uniqueness in which brings out the beauty of the respective culture and the customs that we can relate with. And, it's not really, we're hearing it, diversity and change and diversity and what's happening in the United States. And, people ask, with the BLM movement and everything, right? Because of what's happening in the States, people will ask me, what's going on in Guam? I said, well, with the Guam Police Department and yet, the partnership that we have with the Micronesian Resource Center and Manila, we've bridged that gap with diversity. We've bridged an understanding that we are one Micronesia. And, that's where I see that the importance of diversity and understanding how everybody's contribution into their existence in this world. It's you sprout a different flower from your island that is significant in your part, that we can learn and appreciate from. That custom and belief that you have that may be alien to some individual that's not a part of the Micronesian community or not a part of this region. We look at it from a different perspective and admire and appreciate the true beauty behind it. The way an elder sits and he prepares his bull. I mean, I think that's the most beautiful thing. It's like, hold on, why we're rushing? Let me do this and everything, right? It's different. It really is, the differences that we have. You don't look at it as more of a racial standpoint. You look at it as a really different perspective and more of a beauty aspect of it. And you learn to appreciate that. And this is the same teachings that I teach my kids who come out with me to the events. We're so diverse with different things, different cultures, that this is what brings us together, is sharing each other's cultures. It's sharing each other's beliefs and customs and understanding that, this is a sense in which we appreciate who we are as Micronesians and understand that, we have so many things to contribute to this world. I'm not going to say society anymore. I'm going to say to this world because of our very existence of who we are as human beings. And I assured that I did an interview that was happening stateside, and they asked, in Guam and everything, in the States, we're having this Black Lives movements and everything. What's going on with you guys there as a territory and stuff? Are you guys seeing this as a movement? Yes, we've had some protests with some demonstrations with the Black Lives movements, but I assured them that what makes us different from us in the stateside is really, we have diverse cultures, and we have cultures and customs in which we have respect, and we have an understanding that we are, we are unified as one Micronesian, and this is what makes us beautiful in a sense of a region of where we are. Is the differences that we bring. It's still some way connected to each other.
What does the brilliant cut mean to me? It means consistent quality, right across the age expressions. We never compromise on quality and flavour.
It's also the very particular cut of spirit we take to fill our barrels. Tasting it today is just as exciting as the first time I tasted it. That is the brilliant cut.
And that pretty much brings us to the bottom, the last question here. And the question is, what does one Micronesia mean to you?
Oh, man. You don't have enough time for this podcast.
Just sum it up.
When we were sitting there getting ready for the summit, right? And, we were sitting down doing the logistics. A lot of things were going out. Right? It's going to be big. It's going to do this, the first summit and stuff, right? And Action and Ed came up with that, that concept with the team, right? And it was a team effort and everything, right? They're like, Sarge, we're thinking of catchphrases and everything, right? Unity in the community and so forth, right? So they came up, they're like, oh, we're going to show you something and stuff, right? And when they came up and they showed that one Micronesia, right? And people have never seen it before, and it just stands out, the ONE, Micronesia. And I was like, that just sums everything up of what our work, it elevated our work in understanding that, this is what we've been working for the Guam Police Department for the last 3 years with that partnership, was establishing that unity in the community. Because we use that as our catchphrase, unity in the community, fade away from violence, right? That was always the catchphrase that was developed by our Women's Advisory Network. But when the team from MRC came up with a Micro One approach, Micro One Asia approach, and I had to take a step back and I had to applaud them. And I said, that is the most beautiful catchphrase. That's the most beautiful slogan, because people don't understand that Micronesian, the terminology Micronesian islands is many different islands. But when you use the one aspect, it brings all that many different islands together. We're diverse islands that are separated again to, separate and apart the distance, but what connects us is the water. What connects us is the sea. And what connects us is our cultures and our diverse cultures that we have. And understanding that One Micronesia the Guam Police Department has embraced that as our slogan, when we work closely, because, I work closely with MRC, and, we share that same passion that this is the work that's cut out for us. This is the work in which we need to do. And establishing that bond and establishing that community relationship with the police officers in the community, not just the local aspect, but also our Micronesian community, and understanding that, we are one. We're all the same. Although we have different cultures, we are connected because we are Micronesians. And people are understanding that. People are seeing it. And like I said, man, when they came out with that Micro One approach, I was just, that's it. That's who we are. That unifies everything. That unifies and that solidifies the work that we've been doing with the collaborative partnership with Manielo and Micronesian Resource Center and the Guam Police Department.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much again, Paul Tapao. Time, like I said, I wish we'd have all the time in the world. It's just, we'll definitely get another one, part 2 with Paul Tapao, and definitely get down and
the community.
Yeah. Or, it's like, I can't wait to, after COVID to get back out there and pursue all these awesome events that I know you guys still have planned and will definitely do after this COVID-19. So definitely can't wait to get out there and to work with you guys, especially. I know you guys are itching to get out there and to get back to the community. So again, Paul Tapao, thank you so much, my brother, for taking the time to talking with us here on the podcast.
Absolutely, my friend.
All right. Thank you again. Guys, that pretty much concludes another episode of the One Micronesia podcast. Again, the message is unity, and I hope you guys are having a great one. Again, please stay safe. My name is Victorious, and you guys have a great one.